Hi guys, how's it going? Ivano here with an updated guide on the best gear for PvP in patch 7.2. As always, if you don't have time, here's the summary. So as you might have seen in patch 7.2, BioWare increased the power ceiling for pretty much all of the gear. That includes PvP gear, which now goes up to item level 332, as well as some of the PvE gear you can farm, which goes up to 336 now. Of course, there's still the 340 gear, which still only drops from the R4 anomaly operation. And the question is now, of course, which of these is best for PvP? So a little note on how I test this and how you can test it yourself. You simply go to the Rishi stronghold and check your character sheet, because on Rishi there used to be a bolster machine, and still on Rishi you will have the same stats as you would have in a Warzone. So the first thing I tested was the old 328 gear. So you can see this is on the new patch, but using the old gear I have an item level of 329. It's a bit higher because the implants are of course 334. And your stats should look roughly like this if you have gold augments and all of the buffs. So yeah, 8,400 bonus damage and 395k health. Next, I upgraded to the 332 PvP gear, and as you can see, now we have more than 17,000 mastery, 8,682 bonus damage, and a little bit more than 404k HP. So in conclusion, that's definitely better than the old gear, so you want to upgrade the PvP gear if you haven't already. Next, we take a look at the 336 PVE gear. So to show exactly what I'm using, these are the mods you can get from Hide and Seek. I'm still running the 334 implants. These you cannot upgrade further, but they really don't make a difference. I tested this with 332 as well. And then I have the 332 ERP simply because I was too lazy to farm it, but it doesn't make a big difference anyway. And for the relics, we use the Rakata relics 334 here. The stats are actually a bit worse. That's because the Rakata relics have less base power compared to the PvP relics. And you can see here then as a consequence, I have slightly more HP and ever so slightly less bonus damage. Another note that's interesting is you can see on the Rakata relics, which are item level 334, the proc is higher here. So if they proc, you get 3,828 mastery or power respectively, instead of the 3,752 that the PvP relics would give you. But this is only the case on the fleet, since in patch 7.1.1, BioWare introduced level sync also for the relic procs, meaning that as soon as you go on Rishi, as you can see here, those higher item level relics will have the same proc as the PvP relics. So as far as relics are concerned, the proc is actually the same, and that means it would be better to use the PvP relics since they have more base power. But nevertheless, we also wanted to test that, since BioWare saying something in the patch notes is one thing and it actually working in the game is sometimes another thing. So what I did was I logged on my operative, since there you can test the relic procs easily with the HOTS on yourself. And then I compared the relics on the Rishi stronghold and also went into an actual war zone. That's the reason for using the operative, because on the operative you simply heal yourself on the spawn and watch the relics proc. So as you can see here, I'm comparing the 332 relics on Rishi to the 336 relics, and I'm stopping the video when the proc happens. And as you can see, the procs are exactly the same between those two relics on Rishi. So they give you 3,752 extra stats. Then I did the same thing in a war zone. So I'm testing the 332 relics here, and an Odessen in the spawn. Proc is the same as well. And the 336 relics in the war zone is exactly the same. So basically there's no difference between those relics, and the best relics you can use are the PvP relics, again because they have slightly more power compared to the Rakata ones. So then I met this guy in a war zone, and he was running the 340 PVE gear, which you can only get in the latest operation. And I thought, wow, that is a lot of crit, alacrity, and accuracy. But also the guy had more HP than everyone here at 410k. So I logged on my PowerTech, I went to Rishi, and I tried to copy his setup as exactly as I could. And you can see the results here. So in primary stat, we are roughly losing 1%, 443 less, mostly in endurance here. But then most importantly on the crit, alacrity, and accuracy, we're losing 5%, so 7.2k to his 7.5k, which is quite a substantial difference. On the health side, as I already said, he had more health than anyone in the war zone by roughly 6k. and I played with the augments so that the bonus damage is identical between both setups. So in comparison, the guy gets 2% more health, gets more tertiary stats, which means more damage, or of course the option to run mastery augments and get more bonus damage that way. So while the difference is not huge, it basically means that you are surviving a bit longer, you're having a bit more damage, and unfortunately that means that currently, if you want to have the best gear for PvP, then you need to raid. That's it for today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.